So, for anyone looking to get into the IT world, the landscape of certifications can feel like a total alphabet soup. But a few years ago, Cisco did something pretty radical. They completely overhauled their famous CCNA certification.
Right? It used to be this maze of different specializations. You had CCNA Cloud, CCNA Security, CCNA Wireless. It was a nightmare trying to pick the right path. In 2020, they just swept all of that away.
Exactly. They replaced nearly a dozen specialized certifications with one single exam, the 200 to 301. It's a 120 minute test with about 102 questions that covers everything from basic networking all the way up to high-level automation and security fundamentals.
It was a huge and, frankly, smart shift. It basically means you don't have to guess which niche will be popular in 5 years. You just get certified in the core fundamentals, and you're suddenly ready for almost any entry to mid-level infrastructure role. In the old days, you picked a lane. Now, the CCNA gives you the keys to the entire highway.
So it's about becoming a generalist first. But while the exam is broader now, the big question for most people is always the same. What is this certification actually worth in the real world?
That's where it gets interesting. The numbers are pretty clear.
Yeah, the data shows that CCNA holders in the US are seeing a massive pay range. It typically starts between $61,000 and $100,500, but top-tier talent can reach nearly $140,000. And on average, just having the certificate can boost your salary by about 20%.
And that 20% jump is consistent because the certification acts as a trust signal for employers. It's tangible proof that you can actually handle the high-stakes environment of a security operations center or manage a complex network design. You're not just an enthusiast anymore. You're a verified professional.
I noticed something else in the data. There's a nearly $40,000 gap between the lower-end salaries and the higher-end ones for CCNA holders. What does that tell you?
It tells me that the CCNA isn't a ceiling, it's a launch pad. That wide salary variance shows that once you have the cert, your pay scales incredibly fast based on your location and, more importantly, how quickly you apply those skills to real-world projects. The paper gets you in the door, but your experience makes you climb.
So the money is clearly there, but with over 100 technical questions standing in the way, the how of passing becomes the next hurdle.
It is, and people's first instinct is to grab a 1,000-page textbook, but that's not the most efficient way.
To tackle this exam efficiently, a lot of candidates are turning to services like SPOTO, which provide real-world practice tests and updated exam dumps. Their data suggests that with their 24/7 support and focused question sets, candidates can actually prepare and pass in about a week on average.
7 days sounds aggressive, but it makes perfect sense if you're focusing on the 100 most accurate questions instead of thousands of pages of theory. The goal isn't to read the whole library, it's to know exactly which 3 books are on the final exam. It's all about high intensity, targeted preparation.
And you have to remember the exam costs $300 every time you take it. If you fail, that's a lot of money down the drain.
Exactly. Using a tutor-backed approach with practice tests is essentially insurance for that $300 investment. You're verifying your readiness in a low-stakes sandbox before you go into the real high-stakes arena.
It really is all about minimizing risk and maximizing the speed of your career transition. So, if we were to boil this all down, what are the key takeaways for someone considering the CCNA?
I'd say there are 4 main things. First, it's now the one and done certification. The 200 to 301 is your single point of entry, covering everything from core networking to modern automation. Second, the financial impact is immediate. You can realistically expect a 20% salary bump and a path to a 6-figure income. Third, know the logistics. It's a $300 2-hour exam that's valid for 3 years, so it's a critical investment. And finally, efficiency is king. Using targeted resources can cut your prep time from months down to a week. It's a powerful and surprisingly accessible starting point for a serious IT career.